capable of destroying not only
Xena, Warrior Princess, introduced us to many, and I mean many, different villains. However, only a few are as memorable as the Dark Shaman Alti. As a proud Amazonian, Alti is not one to back down once she puts her mind to something. And when that something is Xena's downfall, you can bet Alti will go all the way. Her thirst for power led her down the dark and twisted path of shamanism, eventually using the dark magic that she once most feared as a proud weapon. Alti is a character you do not want to anger. And today, in our video, we will be looking into just how far Alti is willing to go to ruin Xena. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. The backstory of Alti. Played by the talented Claire Stansfield, Alti was a member of the Siberian Amazon tribe. Despite the pride that came with being a part of this tribe, Alti was willing to forsake it all for one thing: power. She was indulging quite frequently in matters of dark magic, and she soon started showing attributes of a shamaness. Her powers grew far too great, and realizing what a threat Alti could be, her tribe drove her out. She wasn't very happy about this expulsion from the tribe. However, she knew that now would not be the right time to strike. While in exile, Alti met a young girl named Anokin. She took the young girl in as her apprentice, and as they ventured through the Siberian wilderness, they coincidentally met Xena and Boreas. Anokin and Xena became rather close, and seeing that, Alti hatched a plan. She was going to use the relationship Anokin and Xena shared to get Xena to do her bidding. However, this plan changed a bit when Anokin is killed in battle. Seeing Xena completely heartbroken about this untimely passing, Alti told Xena that she could visit Anokin in the Amazon land of the dead. Alti took Xena there to visit Anokin, but the latter did not want anything to do with her. This, obviously, hurt Xena even more. That is when Alti decided to start manipulating Xena. Alti wanted great power, and to do so, she needed the souls of an Amazon tribe. So, to achieve that, she poisoned Xena's mind, telling her that if she helped Alti achieve her goals, she would bestow Xena with great power. Boreas, who knew better, tried to warn Xena, but in her young days, Xena sought after wealth and power. Despite Boreas's several warnings, all Xena could care about were Alti's promises. Alti had promised the warrior princess the title of Destroyer of Nations in exchange for the lives of an Amazon tribe, and Xena, who did not know any better, manipulated and eventually murdered the entire tribe, as well as their queen, Cyan. After getting the great power that she desired so much, Alti became the great shamaness. But instead of using the power for good, she used it for evil. While accompanying Boreas and Xena on one of their raids, Boreas saved a kid. Alti said that this kid would be the one to take away Xena's powers. So, she wanted Xena to kill the kid, but Boreas stopped Xena. This led to Alti not being all too happy with Xena. She asked Xena to bring her the Ixian stone, an ancient relic that contained something evil. Look, Ixian is the one who created centaurs. When making them, he had the choice of either making them good or evil. Ixian chose to make them good. In return, he forged that wickedness and put it in a stone. Alti claimed that she needed the stone to fulfill her prophecies. This led to the centaurs going after Xena in hopes of stopping her from searching for the stone. This eventually caused the Battle of Corinth. While Xena and Boreas' army fought back the centaurs, Alti cursed an unborn child, saying he would never feel the love of either of his parents. The child she ended up cursing was Solon, Xena and Boreas' son. When Xena gave birth to Solon, a fierce battle broke out between Boreas and Dagnine. Dagnine, Xena's right-hand man, eventually became victorious and killed off Boreas. Xena realized that Solon would eventually be the target of her enemies, so she gave him up to the centaurs, hence fulfilling Alti's curse. Now, Xena does not know about Alti's curse, but the Battle of Corinth successfully ruins the relationship between Alti and Xena, and since then, they have become pretty much antagonistic towards each other. Alti's Twisted Experiment, a Soul's Prison. Years after the Battle of Corinth, Xena finally returned to Siberia. Xena ventured into the Amazon land of the dead looking for Gabrielle, her best friend, who she thought had passed away. There, she came face to face with Berserker. He was a minion of Alti who lived in this land of the dead and was the most feared warrior there. Owing to his relationship with Alti, Berserker had powers similar to hers, allowing him to use bits and pieces of torturous moments of the past and future against his victims to incapacitate them. As they fought, Berserker made her experience the time when Caesar broke Xena's legs, breaking her legs yet again. Soon after this fight, Xena learnt about Alti and why she needed so many souls. Turns out, all the people whose blood was used in Alti's heinous experiments were trapped in the spirit realm. This included Cyan and her entire Amazon tribe. Xena and the remaining members of the northern Amazon tribe, namely Yakut and Oter, banded together with the spirits of the Amazonians and converted all of their fighting spirits into one. Xena, now powered up with everyone's fighting spirit, was able to fight with Alti in the spirit realm, which is practically the shamaness's domain. Alti tried to cause Xena pain by showing her how she'd die. However, this only had the opposite effect on Xena, as in the vision, she saw that Gabrielle would be by her side. This brought Xena a lot of peace, as that was who she was after anyway. So, knowing that her friend was alive and well, Xena managed to fight through the vision, and right before Xena died in the vision, she was able to push Alti into a nearby tree branch, killing her the same way she had killed Cyan, the incarnation of Alti. But unlike Uncle Ben, Alti did not remain dead. At one point, Xena and Gabrielle embarked on a quest to India. Both were searching for answers within themselves, and that is why they pursued this spiritual quest. While traveling through India, they saw Naima, a girl who was going to be killed at her husband's funeral. Xena and Gabrielle saved her, and eventually, Naima discloses to Xena that an enemy from her past is trying to find one of Xena's future lives. To protect Xena, Naima gave her Mendi, a skin paint that is considered sacred by Hindus. With Mendi, Xena was sent into her future life. She woke up in the body of Armanestra, a follower of the Way of the Saint. Xena wondered who her enemy could be, but she soon got her answer. It turns out Armanestra's enemy, Khandin, was none other than Alti herself. Alti had been going through future lives in hopes of finding Xena. On the other hand, as Gabrielle and Naima waited for Xena's return, Naima realized that Gabrielle was actually Xena's soulmate. So, to aid Xena in her quest, she sent Gabrielle into the future. Gabrielle found out that she was Shakti, the defender of Armanestra. She went after Armanestra, and once the soulmates had reunited, they searched for Mendi. After getting their hands on it, they both applied it to themselves. After the two could take a breather, they were found by Alti. Using the power of Mendi, Gabrielle and Xena were able to send Alti back to the past, to their normal lives. Once back, the three of them engaged in a brutal battle. Alti tried to gain the upper hand in the fight by showing Gabrielle the vision of her and Xena's death. Xena got extremely affected by it, and seeing this as an opening, Alti started putting more and more emotional pain on Gabrielle. Eventually, to save herself and her friend, Xena used the Mendi to summon the spiritual chakrams. Using them, she cut through Gabrielle's hair and saved her from Alti's grasp. Together, Gabrielle and Xena overwhelmed Alti, killing her once again. But as you can guess, this wasn't the end of it. When Xena was pregnant with Eve, she started feeling excruciating pain. She did not know what was wrong. Eventually, she got a premonition, which made her feel like her baby was in danger. Someone was trying to steal her baby's soul. I think you can guess who that was. So, to find a solution to this spiritual problem, Xena decided to go to the northern Amazon tribe with Gabrielle and Amaris. There, Yakut used her powers to figure out which entity was trying to steal Eve's soul. They soon found out that it was Alti. She was planning on using Eve's soul to return to the living world. Given that she had no physical body, Alti could not be defeated. in reality. She had to be challenged in the spirit realm or in a dream. Since Xena wasn't fit to battle Alti, Gabrielle was the one who took on the role. She learned the ways of a shamaness and went up against Alti. In their first encounter, Alti had the upper hand through and through. Gabrielle soon realized that this was because Alti was far too powerful in her own realm. So, to weaken Alti and gain some advantage, Gabrielle learned to trick Alti into coming to Xena's dreamscape. This way, Gabrielle and Xena gained the upper hand and managed to stop Alti from being resurrected again. A twisted reality, Caesar's fatal mistake. When Julius Caesar managed to escape from the underworld, he created an alternate reality. Since he tampered with Xena's lifeline while he was escaping from the underworld, they ended up as the Emperor and Empress of Rome. As if that wasn't enough, he also included Alti in this reality. In this version, she was supposed to assist Caesar once again and help him conquer Xena to achieve supremacy. But what Caesar did not know was that Alti was extremely powerful, and her intentions were not what she made them out to be. She killed him when Caesar and Xena consummated their love and eventually acquired all power over Rome. With Xena crucified as the main culprit for Caesar's death and no one to go against her, she now ruled Rome. Alti thought she had the last laugh. However, Gabrielle soon found out about this timeline and, realizing it was fake, destroyed it. So all the events of the alternate reality were undone and things went back to normal. Alti's modern-day return, a failed attempt at evil. No matter how many times you think Alti will not return, she somehow always manages to show up. 2,000 years later, in the 21st century, we meet Alexis Los Alamos, a scientist whose specialty was in cloning. She developed a cloning program with 3 loyal fans of Xena, warrior princess, and hoped to revive Xena and Gabrielle in the modern era. To clone Xena and Gabrielle, Alexis needed to get her hands on some DNA. Luckily for her, she met a traveler who somehow had perfectly preserved hair strands of the 2 warriors and the chakram. The 3 fans, Polly, Clea, and Mac, created the tapes of Xena episodes that feature crucial moments in Xena and Gabrielle's lives. When the cloning process was over, these 3 played the tapes, hoping to awaken the clones with the same memory of the actual Xena and Gabrielle. Alexis later entered the lab and changed the tapes. Now, instead of getting reformed Xena, the tapes showed the destroyer of nations, Xena. But the Xena clone that woke up started acting very out of character. She was sloppy, clumsy, and lazy, not like Xena at all. This is where we learn the reality of Alexa. You guessed it, she is Alti. Alti takes the fans, who are the modern representation of Xena, Gabrielle, and Joxer, hostage. She tries to convince Xena to become evil Xena again, but the Xena clone does not find either her speech or the tapes to be very convincing. This led to a fight between the two, and somehow the Xena clone managed to electrocute Alti. A huge fire broke out as a result. Gabrielle managed to get all the fans to safety, and Xena came out of the fire just in time. The story of Alti's evil exploits ends with her utterly defeated, and Xena and Gabrielle probably living happily in modern times. Altis Power, manipulating time and fate. Despite her defeats at the hands of Xena, there is no denying that Alti is extremely powerful. As she is a shamaness, most of her powers come from this particular craft of hers. She can create tools, summon and talk with spirits, travel in the spirit world, and cast curses, all of which are results of this. In the spirit realm, Alti's powers are limitless. Anything she can imagine, she can do. However, when it comes to the source of her shamanism, Alti uses fear. One of her more unique powers, however, has to be time-reaching. With just a glare, she is able to reach through a person's past and make them experience something from them. Any wound that happened in the past would be felt by the victims in real time, even though the wounds are not real. If she touches her victims, then Alti is able to reach into their future and do the same. However, this time the wounds become physical. Alti is also often seen giving prophecies. She can foretell the future with great accuracy. This is how she managed to manipulate Xena. She told Xena about her title as the Destroyer of Nations and how she could reach it, which led to Xena being so violent and bloodthirsty. It could be that she does this by reaching through time in the future. She is also able to expel her spirit from her body. When she astral projects, she is in her spirit form. In this form, Alti is invisible and unable to touch anyone in this physical plane. However, in this form, she can fly, cast curses, and even possess other living beings. When she possesses other living creatures, Alti is able to use her ability to reach through time, even through them. This is a pretty nifty trick up her sleeve, which we see her use in the episode titled Adventures in the Sin Trade Part 2, where she takes on the body of a horse and a spider. However, when Alti can tap into the power of both worlds, she becomes extremely powerful. She can do anything that she wants to do, even if it means traveling through great distances in the blink of an eye. Now, regarding her reincarnations, Alti is able to retain all the skills and knowledge that she gathered in her past life when she is reincarnated. This is because of her mastery over the spirit world. She can even choose which body she wants to be reborn in by taking away the souls of unborn children and replacing them with hers. She can also morph her clothes to fit her disguise. Like in the episode Send in the Clones, Alti was able to keep her clothes modern until she wanted to be recognized. Then she showed up in her iconic getup, getting recognized almost instantly. Lastly, as an Amazon, she is extremely good at combat, especially hand-to-hand. Even though she's not as experienced in weaponry, she is still able to go against Xena, matching her at every step of the way, even overpowering her at some points. Marvelous verdict. Like her or not, Alti was a force to be reckoned with. When it comes to impactful villains, a common trope is that of the ones who are manipulative masterminds, instead of being powerful in more conventional ways. However, Alti is formidable both in her cunning and her shamanic powers, and that's what makes her memorable. Let us know your favorite incident that this evil sorceress conjured for Xena and her friends down in the comments below. Until next time, fellas, take care. Oh, and if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe out there. Thanks, everyone.